Dairy milk, how it's made? If happiness ever had a flavor, it would taste like this, silky, creamy, and melting the moment it touches your tongue. That unmistakable taste of chocolate, a bite-sized piece of joy. But here's a question. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to create it? That bar of Cadbury Dairy Milk you unwrap in seconds. The one that melts in your mouth and somehow makes everything feel better, actually takes months to produce. From the lush green cacao farms of West Africa to the futuristic precision of Cadbury's high-tech factories, this is the story of how millions of dairy milk bars are made, wrapped, and shipped to every corner of the globe. And along the way, you'll uncover a few secrets that even Cadbury rarely talks about. Every chocolate bar begins far from the supermarket shelves, in humid, tropical forests near the equator. Here grows the Theobroma cacao tree, a plant so special that its name means food of the gods. It's where the story of every chocolate bar begins. These trees produce colorful pods, yellow, orange, red, even purple, and inside each one, surrounded by sweet white pulp, lie the precious cacao beans. Each pod holds around 30 to 50 seeds, the hidden gems of the chocolate world. But here's the twist. Raw cacao beans taste nothing like chocolate. They're bitter sharp enough to make your face scrunch up. So how do they transform from this sour fruit into the sweet indulgence we love? It starts with fermentation, a natural process that takes nearly a week. Farmers scoop the beans out, pile them under banana leaves, and let nature do the work. Heat builds up. Natural yeasts feed on sugars. The fruity pulp breaks down, and the bitter taste begins to soften. As the days pass, the beans turn darker, and a rich, chocolate-like aroma begins to bloom. Then comes drying. The beans are spread under the hot sun, turned by hand over and over so they dry evenly. Too little drying, and mold sets in. Too much, and the flavor dulls. It's a balance learned through generations of experience. Once they're perfectly dry, deep brown, and slightly glossy, they're packed into burlap sacks, loaded onto ships, and sent thousands of miles away to factories in Europe, Australia, and beyond. From a fruit that grew under rainforest leaves to a bean that will soon melt on your tongue, the real transformation is about to begin. When the cacao beans arrive at Cadbury's factory, the first step is quality control, because chocolate this famous starts with perfection. Each batch is sorted by size and quality. Any cracked, discolored, or under-fermented beans are rejected immediately. Even a single bad bean can throw off the balance of a batch. Next, the beans are cleaned. Dust, husks, and stray debris are blown away until only pure, roasted-ready cacao remains. Then comes roasting, one of the most crucial steps in defining flavor. At precisely controlled temperatures around 120 degrees Celsius, the beans roast for about 20 minutes. It's at this moment that the entire factory fills with that deep, warm, unmistakable smell of chocolate. The roasting unlocks hundreds of aromatic compounds, turning bland beans into flavor bombs. If you ever walk past a chocolate factory during roasting, you'll know exactly what heaven smells like. Once roasted, the beans are cooled quickly to preserve those volatile aromas. Then, it's time to separate what's valuable from what's not. Each roasted bean is cracked open and passed through a machine called a winnower. This machine does something simple but vital. It separates the hard outer shell from the rich inner nibs. The nibs are the true gold of chocolate making. Tiny pieces packed with cocoa solids and cocoa butter. These nibs are fed into massive steel grinders that crush them with incredible pressure. And here's the surprising part. They don't turn into powder. They melt. That's because cocoa beans are naturally 50 to 55% fat in the form of cocoa butter. The result is a thick, glossy paste called cocoa liquor. It's not alcoholic, it's called liquor because it flows like liquid chocolate. This is pure, unsweetened chocolate, the raw material that forms the foundation of everything Cadbury makes. From here, it can take two paths, one to become cocoa powder and the other to become chocolate itself. And that's where the artistry begins. Cadbury has one secret that sets it apart: fresh milk. While many chocolate makers use milk powder, Cadbury insists on using real, liquid milk brought in daily from nearby farms. This milk is carefully thickened, then gently dried into powder form, a process that locks in the natural sweetness while preserving its flavor for months. That rich milk powder is then blended with cocoa, liquor, and sugar to create the signature dairy milk base. Each half-pound bar contains roughly 1.5 glasses of milk, more than most people pour into their morning tea. And it's that creamy richness that gives Cadbury chocolate its iconic melt, the kind that coats your tongue, warms your chest, and somehow always tastes like comfort. It's not just candy, it's nostalgia wrapped in purple foil. Now comes the part where chocolate becomes pure science. To create the right balance of sweetness, texture, and shine, the mixture is carefully refined and measured. For dark chocolate, Cadbury adds more cocoa liquor and less milk. For milk chocolate, they blend in condensed milk and a bit more cocoa butter for that velvety texture that melts on contact. This thick paste is sent through 5 sets of heavy rollers, each one crushing the mixture finer and finer until every grain of sugar and cocoa is microscopic. When it's done, the texture is smoother than flour. But at this stage, the chocolate still tastes chalky, almost dry and dusty. To fix that, it needs one more, long transformation, one that can last for days. This process is called conching, named after the shell-shaped machines that perform it. Inside each conch, the chocolate is continuously stirred and kneaded for anywhere between 12 and 72 hours. Heat and motion work together to smooth out every trace of roughness, release acidity, and round off the flavor. More cocoa butter is added during this stage, giving the chocolate its glossy shine and rich mouthfeel. And air is gently mixed in, removing any unwanted bitterness and leaving only the smooth, balanced taste that makes Cadbury instantly recognizable. You could call this chocolate spa treatment a 72-hour massage that turns gritty paste into pure silk. By the time conching is done, the chocolate is no longer a mixture. It's a masterpiece. Next comes tempering, a process of heating and cooling that sounds simple but demands absolute precision. Chocolate contains crystals of cocoa butter, and if they're not aligned perfectly, the final bar can look dull, grainy, or streaked. So Cadbury cycles the chocolate through exact temperature curves, encouraging only the most stable crystals to form. Once perfectly tempered, the chocolate is poured into molds, bars, blocks, or custom shapes. The molds are gently shaken to remove trapped air bubbles, then carried through cooling tunnels until the chocolate solidifies completely. This is the moment when it finally becomes what you recognize as a Cadbury Dairy Milk bar. Smooth, shiny, perfectly shaped, ready to make someone's day a little sweeter. Now it's time to give these bars their iconic look. Each bar slides down the line, wrapped first in a thin protective foil to lock in freshness and aroma. Then, it's sealed inside that famous Cadbury purple wrapper, a color so distinctive it's been trademarked in several countries. Front and center sits the glass-and-a-half logo, a symbol of the milk that gives Cadbury its creamy heart. The bars are weighed, sealed, and boxed with laser precision. Every minute, thousands roll off the lines destined for supermarkets, vending machines, and corner shops across the globe. From Birmingham to Bombay, Sydney to Sao Paulo, Cadbury's purple packages travel the world, spreading a little sweetness wherever they go. And one day, one of those bars ends up in your hands. You unwrap it, hear that faint crinkle, and take your first bite. It melts instantly rich, creamy, unforgettable. And in that single moment, you're tasting months of work, decades of craftsmanship, and centuries of tradition, all wrapped in purple foil. Because happiness sometimes does come in a bar. If you enjoyed this journey inside the Cadbury factory, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps more people discover these stories. And if you love learning how the world's favorite things are made, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next episode. We've got more incredible behind-the-scenes stories coming your way because every product you use, every treat you enjoy, has a story worth telling. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm the Factory Line, and this is how dairy milk bars are made.